chicken.
Yeah.
All in the crock pot. You throw your pork chops in there, and then you put it on high for about 2 hours, and then you take all the shit that was in the crock pot, dump it in a pan, and bake it. Holy shit, it was good.
It sounds good. I'm not the cream of mushroom stuff because I know you can't taste it.
Yeah, you can't.
I don't like mushrooms.
I don't like mushrooms either.
At all. So, like, people who make shredded chicken with cream of mushroom soup can go fuck yourself.
I don't know who does that.
You used to do it at the golf course.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Now, this is years ago.
They don't use cream of chicken.
They
and
use cream of chicken now. It's like, but why is there a case of cream of mushroom back here?
Oh, we didn't have any cream
the
of
shredded chicken.
That's
why
weird.
when cream
It's
cream
called
of
chicken.
chicken exists.
Yeah.
Just my mic stand here. It was weird. It was like right in my eyesight, and I
You
don't
didn't like that
it.
in your eye?
Yeah.
Staring
That was
at it?
yeah. I think we're okay now.
Cool.
All right. Well, people probably came into a weird conversation. We were having a good conversation, and that was the third time I said, hey, we're not even recording yet. So that I just hit record in the middle of his sentence. So we were talking about food.
Of course.
Shocker.
It's either food or
hefty
penises.
Wideside fellas talking about some food.
Yeah.
But that's what was happening. We were talking pork chop recipes.
Uh-huh.
Maybe we'll put that out, on the Twitter.
Do a recipe, a Wideside Sports recipe.
Sports. What are you having for game day?
Game day
recipes. That's a good idea. We should have fucking done that.
That is a good idea. Game day recipes.
We're at the end of the seasons now, so.
I tell you what, man, it's the easiest fucking thing in the world. You take a can of Rotel hot tomatoes and a big block of the white Velveeta and throw it in your crock pot, and it's the best queso dip ever.
My brother made, it wasn't white Velveeta, it was just Velveeta, and then I think a salsa or something.
Yeah. We used to do that too, and then throw like sausage in it or something. We always called it roadkill.
Okay.
That's what we always called it.
It's a weird name for it.
Yeah. I've heard it called hurl too, so
I'd rather not have it then. But it was, what he made was phenomenal.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's everybody like goes like,
nuts.
Oh, this is like, no, you just take some Velveeta and
I made it for
put a little bit of stuff. You don't have to overdo it.
No. I mean, we had a traditional Mexican Christmas this year. We had tacos for our Christmas dinner. And
nothing wrong with that.
No, it was fantastic. And I brought that dip, and I had texts from my aunts like 2 days later, like, hey, we were going to make some stuff for the Buckeyes game. What was in your dip? And I'm like, Rotel, tomatoes, and Velveeta cheese. And they're like, oh, that's it? I'm like, yeah. It was as simple as that.
I think a little people, they like, this all started off before we started recording. He was informing me how he's a Pinterest guy.
Yeah.
Which is, it is what it is. It's weird. I tried to do Pinterest, but I don't,
It's not like I pin a bunch of shit. I just like to look on there. Like wood shop ideas and stuff like that.
I understand.
Yeah.
Which is weird for a wood shop ideas on Pinterest.
There's a lot of shit out there. I know what you're saying. It is weird.
Because that's not how Pinterest started.
No. It was like clothes and shit.
It was mainly for women.
Yeah.
There was no men's stuff on there.
Yeah, now it's a lot of stuff.
There's never any naked women on there to look
Not
at.
anymore.
So I don't understand.
Not anymore, there isn't. I had a lot of things pinned. But
yeah, that's, I don't know where we go from there. It's fucking...
Let's just go right into football.
No, not yet.
Not yet?
So it's Wednesday.
Yeah.
In between Christmas and New Year's.
Mm-hmm.
So 5 days removed from Christmas.
Yeah.
And your lights are still fucking up.
Yeah.
It's not Christmas, pal.
Well, they're just on a timer,
Yeah, but it's not Christmas anymore.
Yeah, but that little light thing that says Merry Christmas.
That shit. Yeah, it's over.
There's a New Year's Eve one coming out. There's a Happy New Year's one.
Oh.
So we leave it up.
Okay.
We always take them
now
down.
They're New Year's lights?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The back porch ones aren't on. Bitch, only half of them.
Only half.
All the inside stuff's taken down.
Is it?
Yeah, my tree's sitting right back here, yeah. Yeah.
Stab it in your foot from your real tree?
No.
That's always the worst.
Stabbing myself?
Yeah.
With what?
With the needles of the tree.
Oh, no. It's not that bad.
Yeah,
like
I didn't mean with like a knife. You just like stab. I just walk around after Christmas with a knife and I stab myself in the leg.
Yeah. I don't know.
Don't you stab yourself with the Ricky Bobby?
No, I mean, it was pretty easy. It's right by the front door. So I just pick it up out of stand and drag it out the front door, yeah.
All right, well, people are probably, they were probably interested in that, the fact of, that you
I thought I stabbed myself.
Your tree out.
Yeah.
Knows how to take a tree out.
I know how to take a tree out. Come to the tree out, you big dumb bitch.
lot of stuff's happened.
Yeah.
This last week since we have spoken last. We have to go over college football playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
NFL games, which is still fucking phenomenal. Dude, there's so many scenarios of teams making the playoffs.
This 7-team thing.
Keep your head straight. You would think it'd be less interesting.
Yeah.
Because that's what college always does. If you had more teams, less interesting.
No.
Pretty fucking interesting.
Pretty interesting. Could you imagine if there was only 6 teams, though? Like how, like, you would have 2 in the AFC, you'd have 2 11-5 teams out if it was 6 teams.
Yeah.
Now you're going to have at least probably 1 out if they win. Everybody who has a scenario to get into the playoffs in the AFC has a winnable game.
Yeah.
Hopefully the Steelers. I want the Browns to make it interesting. So I hope the Steelers rest a lot of their people. I know Ben's not playing, but I hope they rest a lot of their starters.
Yeah, that's the fucking Mason Rudolph is starting against the Browns. I mean, if Mason, after the whole scenario, if Mason Rudolph walks in there and knocks the Browns out of the fucking playoffs, and the Browns go 10-6 and don't make the playoffs,
that'd be twice. What was it, 2007 or 8 that they did? They did
something
that?
like that.
Yeah.
But if just like if it's, hey, we're playing backup and it's Mason, any other backup QB wouldn't. If they put Duck Hodges out there, nobody. It's okay.
But it's Mason Rudolph.
I
tell you what, it was either 2007, 2008. They played the Steelers the last game of the year for the same scenario.
Yeah.
So it's just awesome. Awesome. I mean, the Colts play the Jags, but if the Titans win, the Colts are automatically out. And I don't know who the Titans play.
If the Browns get beat, the Colts jump in.
Mm-hmm. That's why there's so many. But if everybody wins, it's the Colts are out.
And the NFC is even crazier.
Mm-hmm.
That, if the Bears beat the Packers, they're in, and then whoever wins between the Rams and the Cardinals are in. But if the Packers beat this, and then those 2 teams get in, if this happens, it's like, what the fuck?
I know, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Awesome.
And then you got the fucking Cardinals. Kyler Murray may not play.
He's going to play. I think it came out today that he's going to play.
Goff's not playing. Cooper Kupp can't play. He's on the COVID list.
Yeah.
Goff's having surgery.
In a game you have to win.
Yeah.
And I don't even know the guy's name of the guy that's going to be starting.
Nope, me either.
It's like the AAFL or some shit like
Something
that he played in.
Yeah. So it's wild. I mean, it's just so fun that the NFL, it hasn't been this fun in a couple years.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought last year's playoffs were fun because everybody was on the Titans train and they were beating teams they weren't supposed to beat.
And you didn't know Kansas City yet.
Because
they were getting their ass stomped in every playoff game at the beginning of the game.
Yeah. And then they come back and
now they're
running the table.
They're 13-1 or 14 or 14-1.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're resting their guys next week. I think that
Chad
came out.
Henne's playing.
And they look like they can do it whenever they want to, but they also look gettable.
At times they do.
Just because of like, and that's one of those things in the playoff of, if you bet on the Kansas City Chiefs, now we're talking spread.
Yep.
You lost your ass this year.
Yeah.
Because they don't cover. I'm not.
No. A couple games, like maybe 4.
2. No, it's less than that.
It's less than that.
I mean, it's like 2.
Okay.
But they don't cover.
Yeah.
And in the playoffs, you play like that, of like, that's when like all of a sudden a tip ball gets picked off and a touchdown with 2 seconds left gets you beat.
Yep.
Of that, because that's playoffs.
I tell you what, I watched a lot of that Falcons game on Sunday.
Yeah.
The Falcons played absolutely phenomenal defensive scheme.
Yeah.
They rushed 3, they rushed 4, but they had a spy.
Right.
And then they dropped everybody else.
Yep.
I was like, I said, other teams have tried this, obviously, but Grady Jarrett is one of their defensive linemen, really, really good. When he's pushing that pocket and he's making Patty Mahomes go backwards instead of right and left.
Which usually works for him, because at least once a game, Mahomes runs straight backwards and then flings the ball 80 yards to a wide open guy.
But he also likes to step right or left to get away from that a little bit. Right. But those other guys on the edge were collapsing, and then he can't get out of that because he got a spy back there too. Right. So I don't know. They played it very, very well. They were able to pick him off a couple times. I don't know. They are gettable. Watching that and a couple other teams. I still think
they're going to win.
I do too.
But I think it's not like, well, they're just going to walk through. Now, they still might just fucking walk through.
They might.
it feels like they're going to be in games, though.
I want to see. There's something in me that wants to see a Kansas City Green Bay Super Bowl.
So much. Like, I'm off the Bucs because they've just been so fucked up this year. I don't care about the Bucs. I am on the A-Raj to Devontae Adams because still for some fucking reason, God,
he's always open, and it's pissing me off. And I'm not even a fan. I'm not even against him. I'm just watching games, and I'm like, how the fuck is he always open?
Because outside of Tunyon, who else is he throwing to?
That Lazard or Lizard guy? I don't know. Lazard?
Mercedes?
Yeah.
I mean...
Mercedes Lewis. Who
else is he throwing to? It's like...
And they really stopped.
I'm going to keep throwing it to him.
Yeah, and then Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams were kind of banged up, so they kind of stopped throwing to them a little bit to try to save their legs. And then their
rookie runs for 130 and 2 tuds.
Yeah, I mean, he looks good. Good for him. I mean,
and not to mention, their defense was okay. Now, it's in the snow.
Yep.
But again, if they beat the Bears, everybody's coming to Lambeau until the Super Bowl, and then you figure it out.
It gets kind of snowy and cold in the winter in Lambeau. I don't know if other teams know that or not.
Yeah.
But
like New Orleans. Mm-hmm. Come on up to the...
exactly. I tell you, that Sunday night game was the first time that I actually saw their defense scheme for another team. They specifically put dudes on the line of scrimmage and in the box to make sure Derrick Henry didn't get his. I don't know what... It seemed like other times, I know a lot of teams are pretty balanced overall. A lot of teams are, but they still tend to do things more, earlier in the games, first quarter, stuff like that. But it doesn't seem like they scheme for it. It seems like, we'll just do what we need to do.
Like kind of like how the Saints defense looked against Philly when it was like, you didn't think Jalen Hurts was going to fucking run at all?
Exactly.
Not at all. You didn't.
Yeah, you didn't know that.
Didn't know that was happening. I mean, okay.
It just seemed like Sunday they were like, he's not getting his.
Yeah.
Which is why Tannehill busted out his big run because all eyes were on him.
Right.
Which is okay. You can give up one. I mean, they only gave up.
Derrick Henry hadn't beaten us.
Exactly.
That's kind of
exactly. Tannehill's going to have to beat us.
That's the bad thing with Tennessee is you have to know that at some point in time Tannehill's got to win the game by himself.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what Green Bay kind of does is they jump on people.
Yeah.
Of like, hey, you're down 24-0 or 24-7. Of like, you're going to rush the ball 30 times trying to catch up? Good luck.
Yeah, exactly.
Because the game's going to be over.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're going to have to throw back in.
Yep.
But
yeah,
I'll tell you what, Green Bay's so fucking good. And everybody's like, well, they're over. They didn't beat any. Well, they just had a winning team and beat the fuck out of them.
Yeah, it's the NFL, guys. It's
tough to win games.
It's still tough to win games. I mean, the Jets have been playing well.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I know that they're shit and they're going to be
Two
bad.
hottest teams in goddamn NFL is the Jets and fucking Bengals.
I know.
So,
but they're still NFL guys. The NFL guys,
they're trying to get their next job.
Exactly. They don't quit. And that's what I read an article about. They said a lot of coaches have came and forward and have said that the Jets are still playing as hard as they did the first week.
100%.
I mean, they're not slacking off.
Those guys,
anyway.
If they're going to slack off, the next GM's going to see that tape and go, well this guy wasn't playing hard. I mean,
and I tell you what, if you get a good coach in there, I would keep Sam Darnold and I would sell that second overall pick.
I don't know what the second round overall pick's fucking worth now. Because Justin Fields taking a fucking hit.
He should and played well.
So, what's the second pick worth?
To some teams, maybe more than you think. How about Houston? They need a first round pick.
They need a quarterback.
Houston?
Yeah.
You don't like Deshaun Watson?
I'm off Deshaun Watson.
He's having one of his best years ever.
Yeah, team's doing good.
I'm just saying he himself.
You know what? And that's great.
Mm-hmm.
Say it, and I'm going to go on a little bit of a fucking thing here.
Go ahead.
Same thing for Dak. Man, he's throwing all these. You're not winning.
Oh, I understand that.
I don't care. If he threw for 400 fucking yards this game and 6 touchdowns and you lost the game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care about your stats. You're throwing a lot because you can't run the ball because you're down 40.
No, I get that, yes.
And so many people talk about these, he threw for 350 and 3 touchdowns. It's like, yeah, but and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And 220 of those yards were in the second half.
Yeah. Yeah.
When teams
are playing in their prevent.
Playing in, it's not even a prevent, but just that, hey, we're not giving you a 40-yard play.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to give you 10, going to give you 10. You can march it down the field, but you're going to have to use the clock.
Yeah. And I understand. I completely get your rant. It makes perfect sense.
I get so sick and tired of hearing, well, he's, it's fucking Dak, and like, win a fucking game.
No, and I get that. At some point in time, though, it's not necessarily their fault. I mean, the defense has to stop somebody at some point in time. But if we're talking about needing a quarterback to start a franchise or to be good, I mean, Deshaun Watson, it doesn't get a whole lot better right now than him. I mean, he's putting up the same numbers everybody else is. He's just not winning. They're just not winning games.
But it comes down to that, too. Hey, you got one timeout and a minute 10 left. You get your ball on your own fucking 20. Is Deshaun Watson the guy you want?
If you're giving me a list of things, of different quarterbacks.
I mean,
if I'm the Texans, do I want Deshaun Watson or do I want this rookie that made?
That's all you have right now. But I'm just saying, they already paid Deshaun. That these are decisions of Hey, maybe he's not your fucking guy.
Maybe you're right. He also, I mean,
you're in a rebuild. Honestly, if they could sell Deshaun Watson, they should 100% sell him because they got fucking nothing else.
No, you're right on that. If somebody wanted to trade for him, go ahead and probably get rid of him.
You probably could trade him.
Probably could. Somebody would take that contract because some team who's ready to go now who just has a bad quarterback.
But that's the same thing. I'd take a long look if I'm Jerry Jones. I don't know if I sign fucking Dak.
I wouldn't sign Dak, and I said that after he got hurt, as I'd let him go.
Yeah,
I would, because it's obviously like you just did a rant. He was throwing all these numbers, but they weren't winning, and I get it, and that contradicts what I just said. But at the same time,
Houston's already signed Watson.
Yes,
Dallas hadn't.
No,
so they're in a.
I mean, they could draft a quarterback. They could just stick with Andy Dalton and say, who knows? They may get a new offensive coordinator.
Andy Dalton just threw fucking Dak Prescott numbers this last Sunday.
They may get a new offensive coordinator, and he may shine under the new offensive coordinator.
And Dalton's a good fucking quarterback.
Yeah, and that dude's going to Boise State or whatever. Yeah. But, or supposedly going to Boise State. But who knows at that point in time. But I think the Jets should at least look into that sell or just try to build what you have, because I don't think Sam Darnold is a bad quarterback.
I don't either.
I think that he's had like 3 coaches, 2 offensive coordinators, and 3 GMs in his time with the Jets already. So he hasn't had anything steady.
And then Bill Belichick came out. Did you hear that? He said they're asking about Sam Darnold or whatever, and Bill Belichick's like, Sam Darnold's getting the best coaching that he can get right now. And everybody's like, when Gase gets fired, is Bill going to put him on make him the quarterback's coach and have that prove you? Or I'm thinking of or is that Bill Belichick just shitting all over Adam Gase?
Yeah, that's exactly what he's doing.
I feel, because that's what I would do.
Yeah,
is I'm gonna give him a compliment. But a lot of NFL people are going to know that I'm just shitting all over this guy.
People who know Bill, that sounds sarcastic.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have a whole lot of tone to his voice anyway.
Not saying that he wouldn't hire him, because he's kind of a rebuild guy.
And being a quarterback's coach,
you're
not really having a whole lot of say anyway.
Especially if they're not having to hire a new...
I didn't even know Jed Fish was their quarterback's coach.
When have you ever heard about him?
No, that's what I'm saying. Having Adam Gase there it would only get headlines because he was just the coach of the Jets. That would be the only reason you'd know.
It.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I'm excited for how the draft lineup's going to end up.
Just to say this, they need a new quarterback's coach in New England. Because Cam Newton threw 5 touchdowns and 10 interceptions for the whole fucking season.
I know.
He's an NFL and I like Cam Newton.
I do too. We really praised him up these past couple months.
Now, granted, the offense they have in New England is horse shit, and there is nobody to work with. And they said, they got these 3 running backs. Oh, you mean the running backs that you throw a 3-yard swing pass to? That's what they have?
Yeah.
Because as far as running the fucking ball, they don't have one. Cam Newton was the running back.
Exactly. That's what you used him as. I mean, again, it's his first year back from that shoulder surgery on his throwing arm.
Right.
And I know that we really did talk him up, and I was a huge Cam supporter throughout this thing, and I still am. I still think he's fucking Cam Newton.
I don't know what.
I mean, who thought that he was going to be absolutely perfect? He wasn't really the best passer. Now, granted, he's better than 5 touchdowns and 10 interceptions, but I didn't think it was going to be awesome. You don't have anybody to throw to in New England. There's no offensive line. They've had 10 different starters.
That game was in New England, right?
No, I thought it was in Buffalo.
Was it in Buffalo? I thought it was in New England.
Buffalo was wearing white uniforms. Is that away or home?
That's away.
Okay, so there was
dark uniforms are home.
Okay.
But because I thought I'd heard that this year, after that game, Josh Allen has more passing touchdowns in New England Stadium than Cam Newton does.
That's probably true.
It's 100% true. That's why I said it's a stat.
But you didn't know if it was in their stadium or not.
That's why I was asking you, because I'd heard that.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know if it was this game or the
gotcha.
Because they play each other twice, same division. You know how NFL works.
I know that.
Okay. But
thanks.
Yeah, but to think about that one fucking game, and it's kind of like because Baker Mayfield, I think, just became that. But the most winningest quarterback in Cleveland Stadium was Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah, I know, for the longest time.
Yeah, now Baker Mayfield has it of like,
there you go.
That's a all right.
That's crazy.
And that showed you Cleveland. That was it's a shame. I'm not a Cleveland fan, but it would be the most Browns thing to do is to go 10-6 and not get in. But again, and I like Stefanski, and I think he's kind of got things going in the right direction.
Yeah.
And I know your practice squad wide receivers you lost 3 offensive linemen, and you got down.
Yeah.
But Baker Mayfield can't throw the ball 50 fucking times.
No.
And win. You
can't.
Still got to keep trying to pound the run. If you have 2 of those guys, and that was kind of an important game.
Yeah, I mean, I would have probably...
It was a really fucking important game.
Just being somebody who calls plays, it's so frustrating when you want to run the ball and you can't because they're stacking. You know what I'm saying? So you try to do other ththings and then you just forget about...
And then you get away from it.
And I think, and then you get down.
Yeah.
And then you're like, fuck.
Because at the end of the game, and I don't know what the rushing attempts were.
Yeah.
But there wasn't many.
No. And
it's
still
one of those things
at the end.
Hey, we just couldn't run the ball. It's like, well, coach, you only tried 8 times.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that's the number, but I bet I'm not far off.
No, I probably would say 12 to 15 at the max. But between the both of them.
Yeah.
Not 12 or 15 apiece.
And that's kind of like...
Yeah.
Yeah, but did you?
Mm-hmm.
Did you try to run it? Because it didn't seem like you did.
It was, we ran the ball.
Ran it on first down. Shocker. Got 1 yard, so we threw the next 2 downs. Because Cleveland's a team.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're not running the ball, sometimes they play action on first down, but they run the ball on first down
a lot.
85% of the time.
Yeah, something like that.
So, I mean that's kind of what you get.
Yeah, it is. And I hope they win. I for some reason, I like Stefanski. I thought he kind of got shit on when he was with the Vikings of them bringing in Kubiak to try to help him. That was just that was what he was getting fired this year.
Yeah.
If he didn't take the Browns job or a head coaching job, because that's why you bring in somebody who like Gary Kubiak, who's
and
been
how's
in the
that
league
defense in Minnesota doing?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I mean, I like him. He and then he was kind of given the stick really when he got the job at the Browns. Remember all those meetings they were supposed to have and going over game plans and stuff like that? Yeah. So you seemed like you hired him, but you didn't trust him?
No, that's just the Browns.
Okay.
So I heard interview with, who was their last coach?
Pettin? Or?
No. Used to be the Bengals coordinator, and then he went to the Browns.
Hugh Jackson?
Heard interviews with, that's the Browns operation.
Oh.
Like on Wednesday, once you implement the game plan, you have to get it okayed by the owner.
Oh, because he knows a lot about football.
And I guess that's not as uncommon as you would think.
No, and
but it's one of those things of like, well, hey, did you play football?
That's what I'm saying.
Oh no, you just own a team?
Yeah. Okay.
What do you know?
I'm doing that with. I know he isn't really the GM anymore. But I'm going to go over the game plan with Ozzie Newsome. Yeah, I'll get behind that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to go over it? You want to talk football? Yeah. Great. This guy who owns gas stations? No, I'm not.
Flying J?
Yeah, okay. Exactly. I don't really want to go over my game plan with him.
Hey, didn't you guys do some credit card swindle that you were getting sued over or something?
Exactly. So.
Well, and that's the other thing, because that's the type of owner that does that.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they need a coach, they hire a consulting firm to find a coach.
Exactly.
Like,
fucking idiots.
Well, if you want to know the fucking game plan, hire your own coach.
Mm-hmm.
Why else do you own a fucking team?
Just to say that you own it?
I mean, some people do.
Yeah.
Just to, hey, I own them.
Mm-hmm.
Like whatever fucking Sheik or whatever owns the 49ers.
Yeah.
I don't even. Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. Yeah.
But yeah, it was that just off of rant of the NFL, but it's just so good.
Uh-huh.
I'll tell you what. And there's a lot of haters out there for Aaron Rodgers.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, he's overrated. It's like, he's so fucking good.
So good.
He is so fucking good.
So good.
of like, well, why has he only got one Super Bowl? Well, they're really hard to win.
Yeah.
You know, Dan Marino didn't have any.
And he's one of the best quarterbacks ever. Yeah.
You know, Peyton Manning has 2, and the second one was kind of bullshit that the defense won.
Yeah.
Never forget that they were still questioning whether to bench him in the Super Bowl. So let's not act like that.
Yeah,
you know.
that second one, oh, God, that was a fun year, but he was terrible. But again,
didn't need to do anything.
And 2, Kubiak was trying to have him run a play-action offense.
Yeah. Let Peyton do what he does.
Exactly.
Because here's the thing. The defense pretty much saying, hey, can you get to 20?
Yep.
Because the other team's not gonna.
No. And that's this past...
Or can you get to 15? Because the other team's probably not going to get to that with that fucking team.
When Denver hired Fangio, Elway wanted Kubiak to be the offensive coordinator. Well, they didn't see eye to eye on some things, so that, they split ways. But thank God that happened.
They need to split ways with Elway.
You're probably right. But my point is, him and Elway were buddies since they backed each other up and they played together, which is the only reason why he got that job. They should have never fired John Fox in the first place. He already led him to one, led him to the AFC Championship game in another. So that one pissed me off because I was a huge John Fox fan. Loved him, loved the way he did things. And then you bring in your buddy, kind of just like almost the Gruden Tony Dungy thing. We're gonna bring in Gruden after the team that you just built up.
Yeah,
and you can go win your Super Bowl.
And we're gonna make him the greatest ever.
Yeah.
And then it's coming to terms in year, 2 or 3, that John Gruden's a really fucking shitty football coach.
Yeah, he's not good.
He is a terrible football coach.
And the Oakland or the LA Raiders have 8 more years of it.
Or Las Vegas. But
what did I say?
Los Angeles.
Shit.
But
Las Vegas, sorry.
You were in one of the 3 towns that they've been in.
I was, damn it.
He's a terrible fucking football coach. He knows nothing. And I've heard in interviews with other people from the league that John Gruden is an offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
He doesn't know anything about defense. He hires a defense coordinator and goes, okay.
And their defensive coordinator they hired, they just fired.
Yeah.
Because he was bad.
Because he went all out fucking zero coverage blitz.
No, that was the Jets.
Oh, that's right. The Jets. Yeah, because he got fired too.
Yeah, he got fired too. Yeah.
It was against the Raiders.
It was against the Raiders, yeah.
And then the Raiders coach seen that and goes, I like that guy's style.
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah. I can't wait till John Gruden, and they can't fire him. They gave him a fucking 10-year deal or some bullshit.
A ton of fucking money, $100 million.
And that's the poorest owner in the NFL.
Yeah.
That they're like talks of like without fans of like, is he going to be able to survive and not have to sell the team?
Yeah. Crazy.
What a fucking muppet that guy is.
Oh, God,
Daddy
the NFL is so awesome.
So good.
So good. We can, what's good about it?
Like the draft order.
The draft order. It's going to be huge. Now, the Jags already locked up number 1. Okay, cool. What?
Can I stop you on that?
Yeah.
Of the rumor of the Urban Meyer hype to Jacksonville. I don't know that I buy it. Like, if he's left 2 jobs because of health issues, I think the NFL's worse than what college is. So I don't know about that. But I'm for him to give it a try, and that's a good hire for Jacksonville. Can we get some sort of fucking life down here?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't believe the hype whatsoever. One, because of the same reason.
He was going to Texas, and he was going to Auburn, and
I don't see that working out for him.
No.
I've been to some. I'm not saying that he wouldn't change his ways.
He won't.
But I've been to some of the practices that he ran when he was at Ohio State. The NFL guys aren't going to really like that. It's the same way why they were really tired of fucking hardball in the NFL, because he's a prick. You do it his way or not really anyway. And, we still run, we still hit in training camp. And the players don't like that.
And it's like, hey, I've been in the league for 9 fucking years. I'm not hitting on a Thursday.
Yeah. Sorry.
Because I'm still trying to heal up so I can play on Sunday.
So I just don't feel like that would really work out well for him. Maybe for a year or two.
That's usually what happens.
Get new players, you get a new coach, you get a guy like Urban Meyer, and then it's like, man, this shit's getting fucking old.
Yeah. And his offense is no longer, that's just kind of everybody's offense, and it's kind of bland now.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I stopped you there, but obviously that was in the news, and that's
you're
a big deal.
Okay. It came in with the draft order pick. I mean, if they would hire him, the only reason he's excited about that job is that he get a chance to work with Trevor Lawrence. That's the only reason that he would look at that job.
That's why.
And then you got probably the Jets at 2, and then really like 3 through 15.
Because I don't know what the fucking the Bengals are doing.
Yeah.
Zach Taylor, you're never getting fired.
Yeah.
you got however many years left on your contract. You're at least going to get those years.
Those years, yeah.
Unless there's an opt-out somewhere because Mike Brown ain't paying you.
No.
Stop winning games.
Yeah. I don't know. That 3 through 15 is going to be a jumble.
Yeah.
I think this week, because you still got teams that shouldn't be winning games.
Yeah.
And you got teams that, like obviously playoffs matter for those teams, but like the Steelers, they could potentially drop this one.
Right.
But it doesn't really matter if they make it the playoffs. But still, I mean, you got the Texans. They're going to keep losing games and then give Miami a hell of a draft pick in the top 10. And then Miami's got their own.
Miami's looking at I think it's a 5 right now.
A 5 and somewhere in the high teens, early 20s.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there, depending on what wins and shit for them.
Now, here's a question.
Yeah.
This is a serious fucking question. Do you look at a quarterback if you're Miami with that 5 pick?
You have to look at it.
The fact that you had to pull him for the second time?
Yeah, you have to look at it for that reason alone. I mean, is he my guy? It sucks for Tua.
Yeah.
It sucks for Tua, one, because you saw your 2 other counterparts have hell of a year. Herbert just set the rookie passing touchdown record. Burrow was
well on the way of
doing that. Gets hurt, but now you're like, oh shit, this guy was supposed to be tied with Burrow or right below him, and now he's kind of dwindling down. He has shown signs of having some goodness to him, but
my problem is
when you have to pull him in the fourth quarter.
You have to pull him in the fourth quarter. Fitzmagic comes in there and just starts fucking lighting it up.
Yep.
Throws for 140 yards. All the same players on the field, man. It's basically you.
Yeah. You're doing something wrong.
You're doing something.
Yeah. And could be get another quarterback, but
and maybe it's just he wasn't ready to play yet.
Yeah, it could be that too. You tried to get him in there early. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how to answer that question because I want to see how this weekend plays out.
I think you got to look real fucking if you end up with that number 5 pick.
Yeah, you're looking at 3 different quarterbacks. Probably the dude from North Dakota State.
Yeah.
You're looking at Fields, and you're looking at the dude from BYU or Trask.
Yeah.
So 4 different guys.
Yeah.
And I think Trask kind of falls a little bit lower.
I think he's a second rounder.
Yeah.
You got to show me more than that, and that that proves into the Dwayne Haskins. Just don't show me one fucking year in college and tell me it's going to be good.
Yeah, I mean it's that, and the fact that we got to have a conversation of how mature are you.
Yeah,
we got to. So I think that was a big thing too.
Well, that was a main thing.
Yeah, you can be bad, but you can't be a fucking idiot too.
Yeah, you don't get cut for being a second year quarterback and not being. Hey, you're making rookie mistakes.
Yeah.
But maybe you're coming along.
Mm-hmm.
You're acting like a fucking child.
Exactly. So we're going to let you go, which is probably the best thing that I've seen Ron Rivera do this year.
Yeah.
I mean, that, in all honesty.
The fact that you get cut as a first-round draft pick quarterback before the second year's up.
Mm-hmm.
And that has nothing to do with your play on the field.
No.
It has nothing to do with that.
No.
Because they have you for cheap.
Yep.
It's $4 million a year for the next 2 fucking years. It was nothing to keep you on that roster.
Nope.
Except for they don't want you as a
when
person
the
on that
Redskins
fucking
organization is embarrassed by your acts.
Team?
Sorry. The football team. Don't cut us.
WFT.
WFT.
I always read that as what the fuck
Same
every
here.
time.
Every time. The what the fuck. But, I don't know who I'm looking at over here as I'm trying to explain something to you. But
up to the heavens.
Yeah. When the Washington football team, who's had many different allegations against them, are embarrassed by your actions, that's a problem.
It's a big problem. And he said the right things. He fired his agent, which I don't know what the fuck the agent's problem is. You got me cut? It's like, hey, well, you're acting like it. Unless the agent's the one that made you go to the strip club.
Hey, man.
He probably booked something like, hey, they're going to give you $20,000 if you come and do this.
Yeah, exactly.
And it honestly, with the way it's coming out about Haskins, that's probably fucking what it was. It was because I heard it was a birthday party.
Yeah.
And he probably got money to show up to it.
Probably.
Because you're talking about a guy that charged people to come to his draft party.
Uh-huh. So,
man.
Yeah, you're talking about an immature douche right now.
Yeah.
So, hopefully he kind of gets his shit together. And
fucking Carolina's showing interest is what they said.
They said there was like 8 other teams interested. Now, whatever that means, interested means.
Well, I think a lot of it comes out of like that maybe that Chris Carter thought.
Yeah.
Like when he was in Philadelphia and Philly had to fucking cut him because he was so terrible.
Mm-hmm.
And not at the football,
no, at life.
just as life.
Yeah.
And Minnesota picks him up, here's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people see, like, motherfucker's talented.
Uh-huh.
Maybe this getting cut. And for one, I think it's a big deal, too. Do not get drafted to your home fucking town.
Yeah.
You just, it never works out well. Now, he only got cut. The last guy that got drafted his hometown, murdered people and then hung himself.
Yeah.
But, it's just, it's a bad way.
It's a bad way.
Oh, he's coming home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Yeah. It's usually the bad thing.
I read one team that was interested in him, and I kind of got excited for Haskins.
Yeah.
And it was the Niners. And I don't know. I really am a big Shanahan fan.
Yeah.
Big Kyle Shanahan fan. I'm a big John Lynch fan, obviously, for his time in Denver. They haven't made bad moves in the draft or free agency since those two have been together.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was like, okay, maybe. If they're wanting to get rid of Garoppolo, I'm not saying he would be the starter. They're going to have to bring somebody else in, obviously.
But that might be the place, once they talk to him of like, for one, you're coming in on a min deal.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know when you qualify for the vet min. Is that 5 years?
I thought it was 4 years.
4 years, so it's not there yet. So it's $500,000.
Mm-hmm.
And we're putting you in the offense. So we're on a good day with the defense, Bosa and them coming back.
Yeah.
We may ask you to throw the ball 15 fucking times.
Yeah.
Just turn around and hand the motherfucker off.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, that's why I got excited. I'm like, okay, maybe that's somewhere where he could learn because it's not all on him.
I feel, and I don't know when they're coming back, but I feel like it's an XFL rebuild if he can. But they're not coming back till, 2 years?
Something like that. Whenever the Rock gets this shit
he'll
together.
He'll be gone by then. I mean.
Yeah.
I'd like for him to get another chance to see if he grows up.
Mm-hmm.
But I can also see a scenario where he never plays again.
I can see a Josh Rosen scenario where he's just practice squad to practice squad to practice squad and then whatever.
All the talent in the world.
All down the world, man. It's sad that he has all the Big Ten records.
Yeah.
He has all of the Big Ten records.
Obviously the last couple times Justin Fields played has not looked good.
Mm-mm.
But Dwayne Haskins just made his draft stock tumble even further because Ohio State doesn't put good quarterbacks in the league.
They never have. They never have.
And I understand that, like I read the all the hate and stuff like that of like just another bust from Ohio State and it'd be like from an Alabama fan. It's like, well, what quarterbacks are you putting in the fucking league?
I know.
Yeah, Tua, and we're legit having a conversation if they should fucking draft somebody else.
Yeah. And
legitimately. And I guarantee you the GM and owner are having that fucking conversation.
They have to.
I don't know that this is our guy.
Yeah.
If somebody else slips to us, maybe we take it.
Yeah.
Now, granted, they can get a stud at 5.
Yeah.
Because if Fields is falling, you got to assume he's going to be there at 5.
Yeah.
And it maybe you don't feel like he's your guy.
Yeah.
You're probably going to get one of those other guys at 20.
Yeah.
Which is even better.
Oh, it's way better.
Because if
you can
with
get somebody
Fields,
to help you out now.
Because it was always a Trevor Lawrence going 1 and Fields is going number 2. Well, now that's
the shaky.
Now the guy from BYU is not going to jump all the way up to 2.
No, he's not.
So the second quarterback, somebody's gonna get taken in the top 5 because somebody there needs one. But I think that I don't know that you're gonna have 4 quarterbacks in the top 10. I just don't feel like that's what's gonna happen.
And go back to draft stuff. I'm really excited to watch the Giants draft, and I'm really excited to watch the Panthers draft.
Yeah.
I think those two teams are right there. I know the Panthers only have like 5 wins or something like that, but they were in a lot of games. The Giants were in a lot of games. The Giants and the Panthers both don't have their best offensive players.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm excited to see which way they go of who
and plus
draft.
This thought too of the Panthers, when McCaffrey played
3
games, maybe.
I think they won those 3 games.
But they were in almost all their games. I mean, in the way their draft, every single draft pick last year was a defensive player.
Yep.
Every fucking one. So now it's kind of like, hey, we and it feels like they hit on a lot of. I mean, one guy up for him or Chase Young, defensive rookie of the year. I mean,
the DB that they got was good. The defensive tackle out of Auburn is really good.
I mean, Chase Young kind of made a late fucking push for that of like, hey, I just sack people, get fumbles, fucking score touchdowns.
Whatever.
I mean,
I do it all.
So, I mean, it's like that, hey, here's defense, young, cheap.
Mm-hmm.
We got something going here. Teddy's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Say, at some point, they're going to bring in a Haskins of, hey, come back him up.
Yeah.
But, Christian's going to be back next year.
Yep.
Because I think they came out and said he's not playing this week.
No.
Because why would you?
Why would you?
If you just get like one little weapon for Teddy.
Yeah. Yeah. And the receivers.
And honestly, in that of like, if you could get a stud fucking tight end.
Mm-hmm. Well, the receivers aren't bad. There's just not a number one.
Curtis fucking Samuel has carried that team.
Yeah. I mean, you have DJ Moore, Curtis Samuel, and Robbie Anderson. Solid receiving core, but you just don't have that number one guy.
And I don't know, where they're going to be, what, 4?
4 or 5. Yeah, in between that 4 to 6 range.
I don't know if there's a top 5 receiver coming out.
But you have a Kyle Pitts that can go there and make a big difference.
That would be fucking, because he's a receiver. The Travis Kelce type.
He's your Jimmy Graham-esque.
Yeah, Jimmy Graham. Yeah. Probably better than Kelce because he's fucking best ever.
Hell, I didn't know he was a tight end until I watched the SEC championship game, and he fucking pancaked like 3 dudes. I was like, this guy's a tight end?
Yeah.
That's awesome. And then he was pancaking Alabama defensive linemen.
That would be an amazing pickup for them.
It would be. That gives you an extra weapon now. Oh, okay. I got all these guys covered. Oh, I got one more.
Because you got, if you're making the push with the team you got a cheap defense.
Mm-hmm.
You got Teddy. Under contract. McCaffrey has a big deal, but the way you use him, you figure you got 3 years left of him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because
you're beating the fuck out of him.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you paid for.
Yep.
So like now's the time.
Uh-huh.
Like if you want to use this MVP style running back, which you can't win MVP at running back anymore because it's a quarterback award. But like you got to go now.
Yeah.
I mean that's just because.
Yeah. That's why I'm excited for really those two teams in general. I know I've saw some already like mock draft-esque kind of things, and they had the Panthers taking that Micah Parsons, the linebacker from Penn State. I just don't want them to go so heavy on defense all the time,
right?
Because there still is a free agency.
Yeah,
and linebackers nowadays are a dime a dozen. Yeah. It's not the fucking run over everybody anymore because you have so many passing situations now. You don't have, the Ray Lewis's. I watched some fucking highlight videos of Zach Thomas the other day on Instagram. You don't have that anymore. That's not your linebacker anymore.
And if you have some money, well, Pittsburgh's got 2 really good defensive guys that are going to be hitting the free agency market.
Yeah,
and they got to save money for TJ.
Yeah,
grab one of them.
Yeah,
Dupree, pay him. They're it's a line or corner, but they're. Might be a linebacker that is coming due to also that Pittsburgh's probably not going to be able to pay.
Who's that?
I can't remember. I just read it today.
And in Pittsburgh, their best linebacker got hurt.
Yeah.
Devin Bush was out most of the year.
Yeah, Devin Bush is out. But, but Dupree, pay him because Pittsburgh's not paying him.
No.
They can't.
Because yeah.
TJ's going to be coming due.
And then he's going to be making almost $20 million on his
100%
on his fucking franchise tag.
Yeah,
you're not going to pay a secondary pass rusher $20 million.
Yeah, you just can't. So for sure, grab one of those guys because they're proven if you want to do that. But
I'm thinking Kyle Pitts.
If they don't take him, it's crazy. If he's there, he might not be there.
Yeah, he may not be there depending on where they draft. But I'm thinking somebody on offense, even if it's not Kyle Pitts, an offensive lineman, they go a long freaking way, man. Yeah. I mean, it is a big deal to have that. Especially with McCaffrey, Teddy, you want to keep Teddy healthy because he's very injury prone. We've seen that, and I don't know. That's just the way I look at it.
I would look at them for Pitts because they're not going to be ahead of Cincinnati, and Cincinnati's going to take whatever top lineman there is going to Cincinnati. That's just what's happening.
And I feel like that's the same way with the Giants, but they could also go with a pretty good receiver out of LSU too to try to give Daniel Jones another weapon. I mean,
because that one guy, the other.
Jamar Chase.
He opted out, didn't he? This year?
He didn't play.
So.
He didn't play.
And it's amazing how you fucking forget about those people.
Yep.
Hey, name off all the people that opted out in New England. Everyone's like, oh, I forgot those guys were even in the fucking league.
Half their defense.
Yeah. It's just like, well, we won't hold it against you if you opt out. But then it's like everybody just fucking moved on, pal.
Belichick had to make a phone call to Stephon Gilmore. There was a report on that he had to convince him, hey, man, don't opt out. We have all these other guys. We'll do and, it was like he finally played, but he was the one on his way out.
Yeah.
He was one. I mean, there was a big talk of him not going either.
And
so
just
could you
think
imagine
about that? At that point, when all that shit was happening, and we're rolling into week 17 with the most fucking exciting last week of football that you could have in the NFL.
I know it.
We're already excited about talking about shit on the draft. We haven't even gotten to the playoffs. We don't even know who's in the playoffs yet.
And we're talking about next year.
NFL is amazing.
It is. It's fantastic.
Not to mention, our big deal that we texted about today was going to be about the college football playoff. We're 45 minutes into a show. We haven't even fucking mentioned it yet.
The NFL's great this year, man. I love it.
Great.
I love it. There's so much competition. There's so many scenarios.
My brother got into the little FanDuel. He was texting me. I think he had his first. No. You have to do that.
Okay.
I don't. Well.
Yeah.
No, he's got a playoffs. I have to find out what his username is or whatever.
I'll add him into it.
I tried to. It's like, oh well, I didn't create the league.
Yeah, I got you.
You kind of created the league. But I think he cashed his first one. So
nice. Yeah.
Which I did not this weekend.
Yeah, I did.
I cashed on Monday. I just threw something together, like those ones that are like for a nickel. Of just throw this out there, and I won like 82 cents.
I won our $2.70 this week. That was my winnings.
Did you?
Yep.
I didn't even look at it because I knew mine was trash.
Yeah, I think I blew everybody out of the water. I don't think George was very good either. And then I put the same line. I was like, that's not a bad line. I put the same lineup in the big one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get any money. Yeah. I was 5 points away, but
I figure for the most part in the big one, you like 130 to 135 is where you got to be to cash.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like a really good fucking week for me. And then when it's like, 220 was. But then to think of, hey, if you're going to win like at FanDuel a bunch of money, that you had to have Andy Dalton as your starting quarterback, you know?
Yeah, I mean, hell, the one week I told you I won $80. Jalen Hurts was my quarterback.
Yeah.
And he just had a good game against Arizona.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't really, you got to find your matchup.
And it's one of those things, too, because because you texted me of like, and I legit forgot.
Yeah.
And so I put a team together and then put some in the other thing. But it's like, and I tell myself this every year of like, hey, just, it's in the wintertime. It's not like I'm fucking busy. Like the last couple weeks, like I'm only working like 3 days a week.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I'm off like Thursday through Monday of just put a little fucking time in and do a little research. I mean, it's like, what am I doing for 4 days before that 1 o'clock kick? Well, now there's some Saturday games, but of like, maybe just look at the weather.
Yeah.
Because there's times like I picked a quarterback weeks ago. Whenever that like monsoon was coming through, it was like 3 NFL games. There's like 50-mile-an-hour winds. And I think I picked Baker Mayfield that week.
Yeah.
And like I flipped it on and watched the kicker try to kick that 40-yard field goal, and it blew like 40 yards to the left. I'm like, oh, well, you live in Ohio and knew it was going to be windy as fuck. Yeah. And you paid no attention that up by that big lake where there's nothing to stop it. Might be windy up there.
Might be. Yeah, it might be a little windy.
Yeah. But I enjoy the shit out of it.
Oh, it's fun.
I enjoy the hell out of it. And it makes shit more interesting.
It does. You want to watch more games that way.
And it's been so awesome, and I don't know how. I don't know if it's just free with DirecTV that I have NFL Sunday Ticket. I never paid for it, but I have it.
Nice. You get to watch all the games?
And if I did pay for it, I don't know how the fuck I paid for it, but I have it. But the amount of flipping between games I do, I watch all the games.
Yeah.
And it pisses me off so much that DirecTV has that locked up.
Yeah.
And that they're still in that old format of like, well, we're going to have all the games at 1 o'clock so you can watch one if you don't have this.
Yeah.
We're going to have a game that's usually a pretty shitty game at 4 o'clock and then the Sunday night game.
Yeah.
I'm like, feel like you guys could spread this out a little bit and maybe get some better,
Yeah. Have you ever tried? I can't do it. I don't know if it's my eyes or my ADD or whatever. I got to try to focus on one thing.
Red Zone?
No, not the Red Zone, but on the DirecTV. I'm assuming you have the DirecTV app. Or do you just...
That's on my TV.
Oh, you have... Okay, yeah. No, I have like the app because I don't have the actual cable. So I can do like the 6 game... I can do all the 1 o'clock games at once.
That.
And I'm like...
Yeah, I can't.
It was hard.
I have channel surf.
Yeah.
And then I'll get into a game And then it would go to commercial. I'm like, fuck, I forgot about the other game I was watching. I need to get more TVs.
Just spread them out throughout the living room.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it feels like that's what needs to happen.
I think so.
But maybe for next year. But it's so much fun.
It's great. It's great.
We should probably talk college football.
Yeah, it's a big deal. It's a big deal in a couple of days. College football playoffs and all. I mean, Jesus.
Oh, God. Well, as I was telling you before we started that I was going to do some videos for the YouTube channel, and I was recording the keys to win for each team.
Yeah.
That I thought, like, my opinion matters, that I know anything. 'Cause I'm not a fucking coach. I just watch. And I went through, did all of them in one take, and then, my battery died on my fucking camcorder, so I really only caught the audio portion of it, so I didn't have anything to put out. But, doubling back, though, we didn't talk about our picks last week.
Oh, okay.
Because you went 1-3-1.
Yeah, I
the
didn't
only
do
game
well.
you won was the
Pittsburgh.
Steelers game. Old Rand went 4-1.
Oh, nice.
The only game I lost is I had Miami -3. So I had the winning team. It was just a little Fitz magic at the end to make that comeback. That was a wild last 5 fucking minutes.
Oh, it was. It really was.
Okay, let's get back into college
now
football.
We're into college
now
football.
that I've shot back I was just thinking of it because I had all this shit wrote out of what I was going to say and everything. And all I really can remember off the top of my head was just Notre Dame because it's the most shit that somebody has to do to win a game of one. You have to play perfect.
Mm-hmm. You have to play perfect.
You have to play perfect. You have to run the fucking ball because you have to. And my whole point is you have to treat them the way basically Atlanta, like they were playing the fucking Chiefs.
Yeah.
Of hey, we're gonna run the ball. We're going to eat the fucking clock.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to score.
Yep.
And we're just going to shorten this fucking game.
Yeah. I mean, the only other thing that I would counter off what you're saying, of course, run the ball. Their best thing that they do offensively is throw the ball to their tight ends.
Yeah.
I think you have to get mismatches on either those linebackers, or even if it's that big, I think it's like 87 or something like that big sumbitch.
Yeah.
Get him out on a corner or a safety and just try to get him the ball as much as you can if you're throwing the ball. I think that's another key to it because you can get mismatches in college on linebackers with the tight end.
And I know a lot of people shit on the defensive backs at Ohio State and the way they played this year. Alabama's not a lot better at it. When they get beat up, it's because of their secondary.
Yes.
I just don't think Ian Book can do that.
No, I don't think so either. He has proven he can throw the ball down the field, and they should take some shots because I think you got to be still aggressive.
Yeah.
You can't.
If he throws it 40 times, they're getting ass stomped.
They're getting ass stomped, but you have to be able to balance that a little bit more. Take a shot on a second down. Take a shot on a first down. It's because they've got Alabama's secondary has been proven to get to. I think Ian Book is better than Georgia's quarterback when they played, and they torched Alabama's secondary 3 times for 40 plus touchdowns. So I think that they can get them, but you're right, they got to shorten the game. They got to have the ball in their hands. Book cannot turn the fucking ball over.
Not one. They cannot have one. And one thing that Notre Dame's been able to do is they tackle.
Yeah.
And it's that.
Mm-hmm.
If there's more than a play,
yes.
You can't have a play over 20 yards for Alabama.
Nope.
You just can't.
No. You have to tackle.
You're not getting a deep play on us.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to throw it 10 fucking yards.
Yep.
And we're going to tackle you.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to take our shots when you're inside the 20 and the field's shorter, so your speed doesn't fucking matter anymore.
Yeah.
We'll see if we can make a kick field goal.
Yeah. And I think if it's me, I'm going all out. I am manned up, press coverage on Devontae Smith with a cloud over top. Yeah. I am bracketing his ass. I'm doing all I can to make sure he doesn't beat me. He can that running back. He can do what he needs to do. It's really their running game is really hard to stop because their offensive line's really fucking good. So, if they're running the ball, that means the time's getting eaten up. Yeah. And if I can make a tackle, I'm good. I'm doing all I can to make sure I don't get these quick scores, these 60-yard bombs all the time.
And that's the thought on that too is you can't blitz them.
No, you can't.
You have to get them with 4.
Yep.
Because as soon as you blitz, that's just one other guy that can't be back in coverage to make a fucking tackle.
Yeah, and I've used this saying before, make them snap the ball.
Yeah.
Quick, don't give up the big play. Don't give it. Just make them snap the ball. Make that time go.
March it down the field.
Exactly. Make them have those 80-yard drive. Don't get me wrong. It feels really good as an offense to march it down and have a 10-play, 80-yard drive. It makes it really feel really good. But that also took 8 minutes off the clock.
And that's and my one key point was you have to avoid the Alabama blitz.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not talking about the fucking defense.
No.
I'm talking about
3 scores in 2 minutes.
How many people that aren't Alabama games that watch Alabama games like, fuck, they're giving Alabama a game. It's fucking 10-7.
Yep.
And then like in 2 minutes later, it's fucking 28-10.
Yeah, I mean,
okay, game's over.
They do that very well, and the Chiefs do that very well.
It's
kind of comparison.
Boom, boom, boom.
It's so close, and then they'll just go on a little 3-touchdown run there. In a basketball game, that 20-6 run that they just went on. Now you're fucked. So you definitely have to make sure that big play doesn't happen. If it happens, it can only happen once. It can only happen once. It can't happen again. And it's got to be early in the game. That way, there's no more momentum.
I'm going to say my call for it. Notre Dame gets the ball first.
Okay.
They march down the field and kick a field goal.
Mm-hmm.
Alabama gets it, marches and scores a touchdown. Notre Dame gets it, turns it over. I mean, it's going to be like boom, boom, 14-3, and the game's over.
Yeah, I know. I can definitely see that happening because I don't feel Notre Dame can win.
No.
The only thing Notre Dame has shown this year, other than the game a couple weeks ago, is they have played to the level of their competition pretty much all year, whether they were playing shitty teams and they played really shitty, or they played good teams and they played really well.
Yeah.
Hopefully they can get that magic somewhere. I don't know. But I don't think they can win. I think they get beat by 3 scores.
19.5 is a number. Now that was a number I seen a day or so ago. It might have bet up by then, but it's tough to say because it's not enough. Because if I had $1,000 to bet on the game, I would take Alabama giving 19.5.
Yeah,
I just fucking would.
Yeah,
and I wouldn't blink about it.
No, I don't know. I don't think Notre Dame has. It just has what it takes. They're just not Alabama. They're not in there yet.
And I'm not saying that Alabama doesn't blitz everybody in the fucking playoff right now.
Yeah.
They seem to be able to fucking... The Kansas City Chiefs might be the best reference to it right now.
Yeah.
Because their offense kind of looks like LSU's offense last year, and fucking Mac Jones is putting up Joe Burrow-type numbers, except the touchdowns,
Yeah.
But, I mean... And then again, just think if they had Jalen fucking Waddle.
Yeah, I know how good they would be.
People forget that he got hurt.
Yeah, so the spread on the Alabama is still 19.5, still there. So we'll flip it around now and talk about Alabama. All they have to do is just be Alabama.
That's it.
I mean, it's the easiest thing they can do.
They can't turn it over 3 times.
Yeah, they can't.
They can't turn it over 4 times. I think they can still win by 19.5 and turn the ball over 3 times.
Yeah,
I really do.
They can't.
4 times is much.
I'll say this, they cannot give Notre Dame hope. They have to put them away. They kept giving Florida hope.
Right.
So there was something to play for. That's why it was a game. 2 scores. We've already shown we can score in a minute or and a half or 2 minutes. Let's go down and go. Leave no doubt. That's something that you talk about because these guys play with a lot of pride at Notre Dame. I mean, they play with heart. They play with everything you have to have. But Alabama, just go out there and fucking just get them.
Yeah.
Just get them. Don't do anything special because you don't have to. Just play your game and just go after them.
I think now it's not something that you would tell the players, but I would think amongst the coaches when Nick Saban is talking to them is let's blitz this out and let's get our starters out of here for the second half because
fourth quarter at least.
Let's start working on get them rested and make sure they're not dinged up for the next game.
Yeah, I mean. I always like, even if, blowing a team out, I always like to see the starters come out and play like the first 2 drives of the second half. As a more of a rep situation. And that second half, those first 5 minutes of that second half, they mean a whole fucking lot.
Yeah.
So if you come out and you shit an egg, it
Man,
doesn't look real well.
You usually tell who's going to win.
Exactly.
By that.
So you come out of that second half and you just go play football. I think Alabama's going to be fine. Obviously, I'd beat them by 3 scores. That's my prediction. But
my keys to victory, that video that was going to be wasn't going to be more than 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Of just keep doing what you're doing because I don't think they can stop it.
No, I don't think so either.
We've never seen. Now, I mean, obviously they have, but we haven't seen a team be able to make Alabama methodically take it down the field every drive.
Every drive, yep.
That's what Notre Dame's got to do. They got to get it to the point where Alabama may score a touchdown on every fucking possession.
Yeah, but
and if they only get fucking 6 of them, then you can get it to this. But you had to get the ball first, and you had to score every fucking time.
Yep. I just don't think they have enough firepower to get it done.
No.
I don't know. I mean, they're in. Good for them. They can hang their hat on that.
They deserve to be in. People are going to shit on them. They don't belong. Hey, they played in the ACC. They did what they needed to do. They did more. They did more than anybody else did. I mean,
I mean, good for them. They got in. I just don't think this is going to be a good game.
Before we cover the next game, I want to talk about something real quick.
Okay.
Because we didn't cover it last time after the rankings and everything came out. All right, Cincinnati playing Georgia. Awesome. All right. What, Oklahoma and Florida playing tonight?
Yeah, tonight.
Hey, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
The one that I have a problem with, the big thing I have a problem with, the team that's bitching that they should have been in the playoffs is playing North Carolina.
Indiana?
Or Texas A&M.
Texas A&M.
Texas A&M.
Yeah, they play North Carolina.
Of like, how are they not playing at least a top 10 team?
Yeah, I know.
Because all they've done is set it up and say, well, Texas A&M beat North Carolina, and that's how Notre Dame got in. That's all they've set it up for. What? I fucking hate that. And I'm on boat with you of 5 should play 6, 7 should play 8, 9 should play 10. After that, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. I don't know why it's not like that.
Seems like it should be.
It should be. Why do we have these rankings if not?
So you got a team that was up for debate whether they should get into the playoff, playing the 3rd-ranked team out of the ACC.
Yep. Yeah. Stupid.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Okay. That's all I got to say. I've just how you pick bowls is just fucking stupid.
Yeah, it is stupid. So we got what Vegas has called the more competitive game of the college football playoffs.
Man,
7.5.
I've been back and forth.
7.5 is the spread. Clemson, I feel Clemson to beat Ohio State offensively, they got to do what they did last year. They got to get mismatches on those linebackers. They got to get ETN the ball. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to have to run the ball like he did last year. Really, that was the biggest key to me in last year's matchup was nobody thought Trevor could run the ball.
Right.
And he did, it well. I mean, he was lowering his shoulder. He didn't run out of bounds. He wasn't running like a quarterback. So I think they're going to have to do that.
Yeah.
They still have some pretty good receivers. I don't think they're going to get those deep shots. I think Ohio State is good enough to not let those big plays happen.
I did a little film study on that.
Okay.
Of Ohio State's problems with their defensive secondary.
Yeah.
90% of the time when they get gashed deep, it's Hooker's fault.
Yeah.
Which I didn't know. I'm not a defensive coach.
Yeah.
But as I'm watching like guys who play defensive back break this shit down of like, well, they're in fucking 3 deep coverage. Like, and he's biting on a ball fit. He's up by the fucking linebackers. You can't.
Yeah.
All the Indiana stuff, which is the game everybody likes to thump on, was all Hooker's fault. He was just at it. It's hey, man, you're supposed to be back there. What are you doing?
Yeah, you're our only safety back there,
you're
man.
The guy.
Yeah. So I think that they're going to be tightened up enough to not let those big shot plays happen. I think they're still going to be able to throw the ball because it's fucking Trevor Lawrence. Yeah. He's going to pick them apart a little bit. But ETN's a big key to me, and I think Trevor Lawrence running the ball is another big key. When you got guys that are, going all out for the run, you got guys that are in the passing game, you tend to forget about that quarterback. That's the guy that you don't ever account for, which is what happened last year, and I think that's going to happen again, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think the big thing is one, it's Trevor Lawrence, and I think it's because he's gonna throw. He's gonna do what he does throwing the ball. That's just what it is. He's number 1 pick for a fucking reason. It's the running the ball from him.
Yeah.
Because if they're just going to line up and have ETN run, it's going to be a long fucking day for ETN.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they're just going to line up and put a running back on Ohio State. You just can't. But it's Lawrence running.
Yeah.
And then it's where they get gashed of 9 in the first half against Notre Dame, the last game, they ran 9 different screen passes to ETN.
Yeah.
9 different looks.
Yeah. So I think
that's a fucking problem.
That is a big problem.
That's the problem.
And another thing, and I'll comment, we've already talked about offense enough. I'll flip over to Ohio State's defenses. You have to find some spark on that pass rush. You have to get them with 4. You have to because you need all those guys in coverage.
Yep.
you might be able to get a 5 in there depending on what package they have in.
Right.
If Etienne's out of the game, I'm bringing 5.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about the swing pass. I'll worry about his backup later.
Yeah.
But if he's out of the game, if he's taking a breather, I'm bringing 5 that next play. Just you have no issue of he's probably blocking. That running back's probably blocking. He's probably not going out for a swing pass. But you have to find a spark in that pass rush. You just do. And the linebackers, say what you want about them, they're just not good. I know that a lot of the Ohio State fan stuff that I read in the blogs, that Werner guy does that and Tough Borland does that. They're not good linebackers.
They're not good. They don't tackle well.
They do not. Pete Werner is a slow safety. That's why he's playing linebacker.
Yeah. He's really good at running into guards.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just feel like they have to be better with their eyes and the running back and all that stuff. I don't know. I feel like they're going to struggle stopping Clemson's offense.
Yeah. It's and I could say that when you saying the how Trevor Lawrence running the ball was unexpected last year, and 100% is what got them beat. There's some bad calls too, but that's what got them beat was Trevor Lawrence running the ball. And saying that, I could see a game where Etienne gets shut the fuck down, and the backup running back goes for like 170 and like 3
like that.
Of like just that we didn't even fucking think about that guy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's flip the script.
Ohio State's offense, number 1. They cannot turn the ball over against those dudes.
No.
They cannot. Fields cannot have his time where he holds onto the fucking ball and gets smoked. He's got to be able to get it out. And I know we've talked about it in previous weeks. You have some of the best athletes on the field in college football. Get them the ball early. Let them do their thing.
Yeah. Everything doesn't have to be an 80-yard pass.
No. It can be. Look at what Alabama does. They have some of the best athletes. They run slants and outs, and sometimes they'll run a post. Other than that, it's out. The ball's out quick. They let their guys do their thing. If they get tackled for 5 yards, that's 5 yards. Gives a fuck. You move on to the next play.
Take a profit.
Yeah, exactly. Get the running game going early. Make Clemson worry about the running game. I'm not worried about the running game because I don't think it's there.
No, I don't either.
I don't think it's there at all.
I think that was an anomaly last week.
I think it was, exactly. I think they were worried about getting smoked by all the receivers, so they really paid attention to the coverage. They didn't really pay attention to any of the running scheme. Don't let Master Teague play. I think he's bad. I don't think he's a running back. He's so big. It's just
something off.
There's no burst. It's literally one speed. There's one gear with him.
Yeah.
And it's slow. Until he proves that he can have that quick burst, of something, because there'll be a wide open hole, and it seems like he only gets 2 yards.
Well, that was like when you seen with Sermon, was where Sermon got the 25-yard run, Weber gets 6.
Exactly.
Which at that point... Teague, I'm sorry. And I was thinking because of Mike Weber.
Mike Weber,
because I kind of had that same thought, because he never really ran away from anybody either.
No.
That's how my mind works.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Because I was thinking of the other one was Carlos Hyde was kind of that way too.
Yeah, he never really. They never
ran away.
No, and then for as big as he is, he gets tackled by one guy all the time.
Yeah,
and I think if you get Sermon going, and I think Ohio State does a shitty job with screens. They do. They're not a very good screen team. You have again some of the best athletes. Get them the ball.
Yeah.
Get them the ball early. I think that's your biggest key. Get your athletes the ball. Use all 10 fucking receivers that are 5 stars that you have on your team. Use them.
Yeah.
Hopefully Olave can play. I haven't heard anything that he's not playing.
I haven't heard anything.
I think
figured you would heard. If he wasn't playing, he would have been not on the flight down there.
Exactly. So I think that, that's a big key to it. I think, what's the other receiver that's really good?
Wilson.
Yeah, I was going to call him Garrett. That's his first name.
Yeah.
Wilson, I think he was bad in the Northwestern game because everybody was keyed on him now. I think you throw Olave in there. Now Wilson opens up a little bit more. He's a freak of an athlete. He'll go up and get the ball. And again, I'm a big tight ends guy. I think you have to use those guys in the passing game.
I had that thought yesterday as I was watching some stuff, was that I feel like it's so underused that's where it's at this week is the tight end.
Yeah. I don't think Clemson's linebackers cover well. The dude last year they had was freaking awesome. I don't remember his name.
Yeah.
But he was awesome. And so, you didn't really
Well, now
have
it's the coach's son.
Yeah, exactly. It's the coach's son. You have that big burly sumbitch in the middle, too. I don't think they cover well. So I think the tight end may be the little X factor there in using them. Even if it's Clemson likes to play a lot of man and a lot of cover 2, that 10 to 12 yards down the middle of the field's wide open in a cover 2 look.
Yeah.
That tight end runs a little pop pass right over top of the linebackers. Something like that can get them really going, and it would continue to happen. And I think that can really benefit Ohio State in using them.
And I'd like to see like the first play of the game, like Ohio State's first play of the game. If you're going to take a shot, go ahead and do it on that first play. Mm-hmm. But my thought is because everything with the run.
Yeah.
Hey, under fucking center, and this is just a 2-person route.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a fucking play action rollout. One guy going deep, one guy running a post.
Mm-hmm.
If they're not open, run.
Yeah.
If it's that, this is a rollout. If it's not open, just tuck it and fucking go.
Yeah.
And get 5 yards.
Yep. That
to me, that's the, if it's open, fucking hit it. Now you're moving. Mm-hmm. But it's just, instead of this, that like fake quarterback draw that they like to do and then jump back and that never fools anybody anymore because they've scored so many touchdowns off of it. They kind of know.
And I'll go to more of the coaching aspect of it. He's got to just take what they're giving him.
Yeah.
He's been real pass happy lately. Whatever. Fields has proven that he can be a really good quarterback. That's not a question. He's just played bad the last couple of games. Rely on the run game. Get your athletes the ball. Do what you've been doing. You cannot score 80 points on this team. You're going to have to just take what they give you. If they're giving you the 5-yard route, take the 5-yard route. Let your guy go do something with it. And I think he's been such heavy getting of wanting to beat the piss out of people that's in the back of his mind is we have to score now. Every play's got to be 6. Doesn't work like that. Not against this team. Not against a lot of teams in college football.
And now it doesn't matter because you have to win by 1 point.
Exactly.
There's no style points anymore. It doesn't fucking matter.
And we cannot settle for field goals.
No.
We've seen how that happens. It doesn't work well.
Nope.
So you have to put the ball in the end zone.
Yeah. And that's what always scared me with them because like even last year against Clemson, if they didn't score from 40 yards out, they didn't score.
Exactly. They didn't put the red zone was a field goal.
Yep, field goal.
I mean, I remember the big play where fucking Dobbins takes off, gets caught on the 2, and we don't score. Don't score touchdown. Have to kick field goal.
Yeah.
That can't happen. It can't happen. And then, flip on Clemson's defense. Venables is Venables for a reason. He's a really good defensive coordinator. I think that I honestly think that Day has something planned that they haven't seen yet since they've only have 6 games.
Yeah. I mean, I'd like to think that the way the Big Ten was, that they ran such a mediocre fucking vanilla thing. That
Yeah. So I think, and then I'm kind of a revenge kind of guy. Dabo says, it'll be a quick study for us when they got 6 games. Figure this out, bitch. That's the kind of way I look at it. But the defense for Clemson, they're going to get after the quarterback. They have to.
That's what they do.
They have to. Fields holds the ball way too long for them not to have a bunch of sacks.
Yeah.
I think they do so well with disguising coverages at times. I think it's going to confuse Fields. I think they have to continue to switch things up every other play, something like that. But again, I think their linebackers have to do a good job of covering this game. I think that's going to be something different you're going to see. I think those, because they're not your prototypical linebackers in the NFL where you see where they're running 4, 5, 40s.
No.
They're big burly dudes who stop the run, which is great and all until you see swing passes, till you have to tackle a guy like Trey Sermon in space, things like that. So I think you really have to focus on those 2 to 3 linebackers that they play at a time. And I think they're going to blitz. I really do. I think they're going to bring 5 and 6.
Yeah, I think that I'd look for Fields to get sacked about 5 times is what my thought is. And one of them's going to be a fumble.
Yeah. I honestly feel like that first quarter Fields is not going to know what to do because he's going to have so much pressure in his face.
Yeah.
But they're just going to get fucking after him from the get-go.
Yeah, I think the way Dabo's been talking and all this stuff and doubling down on the rankings and basically just saying a bunch of shit. And I think that you can kind of see the game plan of, hey, we're coming here to embarrass you.
Pretty much.
That is, you can see Clemson going, we're going to beat you by 20.
Yeah. And they very well can.
And they might.
They might. I said 2 scores, Clemson.
Yeah.
That's my prediction. They're going to beat Ohio State by 2 scores. So I don't know. I'm probably picking Clemson. I'm picking an Alabama-Clemson national championship game.
That's where I'm at, too. Because I don't pay attention to betting lines on Ohio State. There's so many Ohio State fans, and Vegas gets so much money on Ohio State no matter what the line is.
Yeah.
That the line, they keep trying to push.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, I mean, I don't know. I think those are pretty good keys of things that I've watched already over the season and different things that you can give them different looks. I think Ohio State has the best opportunity to give Clemson different looks because they've only played 6 games.
Yeah.
Use that to your advantage. If you've had anything up your sleeve that you've wanted to do, this is the game to do it.
Yeah.
Just to get past that hump of beating Clemson. I think that...
Never done it.
No, I honestly... And I told my wife this the other day because she's not an Ohio State fan. She hopes they get fucking trounced.
Yeah.
I was like... I said I think it's more of a... I'm not saying that it's a bigger deal, but I think media-wise, pressure-wise, it's a bigger deal to beat Clemson this game and lose to Alabama in the national championship game.
I think everybody just thinks everybody's losing to Alabama.
Yeah.
And I think, did we talk about this last week? Where I think like Ohio State is at that cusp, even though with all the talent they get, they get thumped. They're right in that Notre Dame talk of like, you guys don't belong. Like, we need to take another SEC team.
Exactly.
Because, you have all this NFL talent
but you're not doing anything with it. So why are we going to keep putting you? The only reason that they continue to get put in there this year is not really a big thing, but fans and money.
That's it.
People watch Ohio State. Yeah. So I think that's a big reason. And you're right. I mean, but I'm saying more of a personal thing as an Ohio State guy who's been watching Ohio State for a long time. Beating Clemson is a bigger deal than beating Alabama in the national championship. I'm not saying that it's not a big deal. Obviously, another national championship would be a big, big thing.
Right.
But that hump to get over beating Clemson, it was the same thing back in 2014 when they beat Alabama. That game was a bigger game to Ohio State fans than the Oregon game. It really was because it was the SEC matchup with never beaten Clemson. This is a bigger game for fans for an Oregon. I'm not a college. You know what I'm saying? I think that's why this game is a big deal.
And I think that's kind of the way I imagine, just the way you listen with Ryan Day talk. Like in his mind, it's obviously he knows it's going to be a tough game, but in his mind, seeing it the way he would want to see it is that Ohio State would beat them 50-28.
Yeah.
Not that it would be we're not just going to beat them. We're going to fucking embarrass them.
Yeah. If Ohio State wins, it's 31-28. That's my prediction if they win. It's a 3-point game. It's a 1-point game. It's Trevor Lawrence throwing a stupid... It's last year. It's Trevor Lawrence throwing a stupid pick at the end of the game instead of Justin Fields.
Right.
It's that game. It's that scenario. If they have a chance to win, it's something like that.
And that's kind of how I feel. And if Clemson wins, it's something. Clemson got something in the 40s. Ohio State something in the 20s.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah. And they've got to the 20 in the fourth quarter when didn't mean anything anymore.
Yeah.
No, I'm with you on that.
Yeah, that's I don't know. I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
I hate that it's a fucking 8:00 game.
Well, you don't work Saturday.
I understand that, but I'm still on a fucking schedule. You know that I get fucking 8, 9. I'm fucking tired. I mean, and the bad thing is usually like you get, and it doesn't matter who it is. Like you watch a good game, you get a little amped up, so now you're ready for the next game. And unfortunately, I think the game before that's going to be a fucking snoozer.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I wonder what movie we can watch in between games here to get this fucking shit going, because
I'm going to take a quick nap before the game starts.
Because at halftime, you might not need to watch any of the other, the Alabama Notre Dame game.
I know.
So.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think it's going to be a fun day on Friday. Hopefully things fall in Ohio State's favor, but I don't think so.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, obviously, I'm always rooting for them, but gun to my head, betting real money, probably not going that way.
Nope. Not even a little bit.
Yeah. And there's games this year at the beginning of the year, it's like, fuck.
Yep.
But then it's the games when they play a team that's not saying good. Like Indiana's a good team.
Yeah.
Northwestern's a good team, but they're not.
They're not Clemson. They're not Alabama. They're not even Notre Dame.
No.
I mean, so I think.
And not even so much the Indiana game, because we've talked about that Ohio State was in control and it just kind of, but like Notre Dame was taking it to, or Northwestern was taking it to Ohio State in that first fucking half.
Yeah.
Of like, all right, now I got a fucking problem.
Yeah, so I think it'll be fun there.
All right.
Do you want to switch over and make our picks real fast?
Yeah.
Our NFL
back
picks.
To the NFL?
We'll go back over there.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Let me get my trusty notebook out here in the spot that I'm going to do it. See if I can spell your name right this week.
I hope so. I mean, it's only 4 fucking letters.
Well, I've not done it a couple
I
times.
know. You spelled your name and last name, so.
Yeah.
Dumbass.
Well, should have done that. I was the only one that picked winners last week, so.
I've had a pretty good year.
Yeah, last week was kind of an anomaly. If I could get that out.
An anemone.
Got it.
Got it?
Yep.
That was nice of you. Thanks.
Got your name spelled right.
All right, you go first this week. I always feel like I go first. Is it up yet?
You normally do because I'm usually writing in my notebook. And
do you have yours up yet?
Yeah, I had it up before I even came here.
Okay, sorry.
I did some prep work today. Except, I got it up, but I didn't.
I can't get mine up. It's cold.
I didn't look at any of the games, though. All right. Let's start this thing off with you. I'm just going to take you right into the fucking Steelers and the Browns.
Oh, my God.
Steelers are getting 9.5.
Yeah. I have 10, so. Oh, my God.
That's just a tough one because.
Oh, my God.
You can only sit so many players. You only have 50.
Steelers.
So Steelers.
They're getting 9.5.
Yeah.
If the Browns win, it's by 7 or a field goal. I don't care how many players the Steelers rest. I don't think the Browns beat them by 9.5 points. By 10 points. Sorry. I think the Browns can win, and I think they will win. I just don't think that it's by fucking 10 points.
That's tough.
They haven't beat a lot of teams by 10 points. The funny thing
is Vegas had the line out on Tuesday at 7.
Oh.
Before they announced that
Ben wasn't playing.
It was like, so Vegas already knew that he was not fucking playing.
Okay, your turn. Mm-hmm. Okay. I think this one's going to be tougher than you think, and I know that you're a big fan of this, so I'm going to go Packers-Bears. We still haven't heard if A-Rod is playing or not.
Actually, we have.
Oh, he is? He playing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, then
they don't have the 1 seed locked up yet.
No, you're right. They don't. Sorry, I forgot about that. But Green Bay is getting 5.5.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Green Bay. You mean giving 5.5?
Giving 5.5. Sorry.
If you're going to give me 5.5,
no, giving 5.5. Sorry.
Yeah, because I thought they did, but they don't.
Yeah, okay. Because Seattle won last week, so it's still, and the fucking Saints won last week. Yeah, because it's between those three.
And that's very important.
Yeah, because if they can play, Bay. Oh yeah, oh my God, yeah.
I'm going to give you a tough one.
Okay.
Just because. Jacksonville Colts. Colts are minus 14. And I'm only giving you that because of how big the number is.
I know.
And that Jacksonville's already got the number 1 lock.
Yeah.
So they can do whatever the fuck they want.
I'm still going Colts because I think they have to win this game.
100% have to.
They have to win this game. So I still think that they're going to play well. I think you're going to see the defense score more than the offense.
Big number.
I know it is. Let's go with Saints-Panthers. Saints are giving 6.5.
I'm going to go with the Saints on that.
Okay.
And I don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
But they gotta fucking win that game.
Yeah.
For the same reason we just said Green Bay had to win that game, is the Saints don't want to go to fucking Lambeau.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that just, you can't have it. Let's see. Cowboys, Giants. Cowboys are minus 2.5.
This is for the playoffs, isn't it? If the Cowboys win, they
need a Washington loss, I believe. Yeah, if Washington loses.
Mm-hmm. I'm probably going to take the Giants.
Giants plus 2.5?
Yeah, I'll take the Giants.
Not a terrible bet.
I still don't know what the Cowboys do. They've been running the ball a lot better lately with that. They've been actually doing a 2-headed monster with Pollard and Zeke.
Yeah.
And it's actually opened up Zeke a little bit more, that they're not just relying on him. So that's something to look forward to. And Dalton's throwing the ball well. So I'm going to give you a tough one in the amount of point spread. Ravens-Bengals, I have minus 11.5. Do you have the same?
I have 12.5.
Okay.
On mine.
Baltimore, that's fine. We'll go with 12.5 then.
I'm gonna take the Ravens minus 12.5. I think the Bengals are kind of done.
Yeah, the Ravens are,
and the Ravens kind of need to win.
Yeah,
because that's another one. A lot of people don't think about that, but Cincinnati's won 2 in a row. If they beat the fucking Ravens, now all of a sudden the Colts can sneak back in, and with the Browns and
What was
that? What did I say? 12.5.
12.5.
Minus 12.5. Man, I'm taking a lot of fucking favorites, and I don't really like it.
What you got?
What you got?
What you got, little mama?
I'm gonna tell you what.
What?
Here's a one for you. Dolphins Bills. Dolphins plus 1.5. Because I don't know. I assume.
Yeah,
they're resting some players.
I would assume that too. I'm going.
And the Dolphins have to fucking win.
You have the Dolphins plus. Oh, okay, yeah, plus 2.5.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm probably going to go with the Dolphins because they have to win. People just tend to play better when they have to win. You know what I mean?
Who's the fucking quarterback?
They're going to start with Tua, and then they're going to finish with Fitzmagic in the 9th. So,
fucking working.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe. I think you should have Fitzmagic start the game out, and then have Tua play 2 and 3, and then have Magic fucking end it because why not?
Yeah. Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go. Vikings Lions.
I knew you were going to come that.
Minnesota.
That's a fucking shit game.
It is Minnesota -7 with no Dalvin Cook.
And there's no fucking hook to that game. That 7 is a terrible number to be on.
Yep.
Terrible number.
With no Dalvin Cook.
But you know what? I'm going to do something. Because one, I'm not going to take the favorite in that game.
I figured you'd go with Lions.
And I'm going to go with the Lions. And I'm going to say one thing here. Because this is quite possibly the last game that Stafford plays with the Lions.
Yeah. You want to go out on a win?
Rumor mill is Colts.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that, yeah.
Which would be, if they kept that defense, T.Y. Hilton, I think that's get old man Rivers back to coaching high school football.
Yeah.
Doing fucking chest passes or whatever.
All right, you my last one.
Your last one.
And don't pick the fucking Denver game.
I won't because it's not interesting.
It's not.
Yeah, it's 2 shit teams and the spread's not big enough to make it fucking worth it. It's basically just pick the winner.
Yeah.
Even though that's what I thought I gave you last week, and you had a 1-point fucking you pushed a game and you had another 1-point game and let's see. Football team Eagles. Football team -1.5.
Football team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're saying they're going to the playoffs.
I think they're going to the playoffs. I think that defensive front can hold Hurts into whatever the hell he wants to do.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you what. If I don't know if they've even said if Smith is playing this week.
No, because they said that they're that Heineke guy or whatever.
Well, I still think that was up in the air. Okay. I don't know that they. But if Alex Smith comes back, wins this game, leads that fucking team. Now, granted, it's only 7 fucking wins. But if Alex Smith, off of 17 fucking surgeries, leads that
comeback player of the year
dumpster
for sure.
Fire of a franchise.
Yeah. Sorry, Ben. Alex Smith gets it.
I think they put him in the Hall of Fame for that shit. I mean, because
that's fucking amazing.
Come the fuck on.
That's amazing. All right, you got one more. This is the last playoff implication game, I believe. Titans, Texans, Tennessee -7.5.
Titans, Texans, Tennessee -7.5. This is going to be...
I saw the name you wrote down.
I don't think Texans are going to win. I do not think they're going to win, but I'm going to take the 7.5. Mainly.
Yeah.
Mainly on the point.
Okay.
Of they're going to come out slinging it.
Okay.
With everything that J.J. Watt said in that fucking press conference was fucking awesome.
It was amazing.
He's going to have a couple sacks.
Yeah.
It's like games coming out of that fella.
Yeah.
I think Tennessee wins the game. I think it's that run heavy thing of I just don't.
A field goals, 6 points.
Or touchdown. Because I got the hook. So, that's I wrote down Texans even though I went off on the whole fucking shit, but I don't think they're winning the game.
No, I'm with you on that.
But that J.J. Watt thing was fucking
amazing.
Awesome.
Amazing. Too bad he's going to be on the Patriots team next year, but.
No, he won't sign with them.
You don't think so?
Why would he? unless they make a bunch of fucking signings, who's going to throw the ball?
No, I
who do they
understand
have
that.
that's going to catch it?
So you think he's going to go to a contender. He's already said that.
And I don't think the Patriots are.
I know, but it just seems
team.
It seems like they always get somebody like him.
No, he's going to go to
KC. It's not their defense, but it's not the defense he plays.
What did we talk about earlier about a certain defensive guy that Pittsburgh is going to fucking lose?
Oh, they're going to have
maybe go play with your fucking
have all three.
brother on a contender, and maybe Ben's last year also.
They're going to have to switch their defense up though too. He's a 4-3 defensive end. He's not a stand-up rusher.
Yeah, but still,
I'm just saying.
I know they say, he's the other ones, he's a stand-up rusher. Oh, you mean that they stand in the same fucking spot? Just put your hand on the ground.
Yeah.
I mean, because it's not like you're somewhere else.
Yeah. I'm with you.
But, I like
have
that.
all three Watt brothers on the same team?
How awesome.
That would be awesome.
You can't tell me that hadn't crossed his mind if that gets.
For sure. Because you're going to sign him for a minimum because you're not paying him a ton.
Right.
Because he's almost 35, I think.
He's always hurt and everything like that. But you can't tell me that wouldn't be awesome.
And he's a Pittsburgh guy.
Yeah.
The grit, the grind, the nastiness. He's a Pittsburgh dude.
To me, that's the only place he can go.
I like it.
I mean, even if it was, he only has so much left. Even if he was just spelling his brother.
Yeah.
And you get him in the field on the field. And a few times a game.
Unless he's absolutely can't move. I don't think you're doing that with J.J. Watt.
Wait, but you never know.
No, you're right.
You're going to do that early in the season because you kind of want him around for the end of the season.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, that would be cool as hell to have all three Watt brothers on the team.
I just feel like that's what needs to happen.
Like a TJ up in there, Mr. Rooney, please.
Is he a free agent or do they have to cut him?
I think they have to cut him, and I think they will.
They kind of have to.
Mm-hmm.
They just can't have him.
Yeah. I think the writing's on the wall, too, with him. He's been very, very vocal and emotional.
Well, he got a coach fired.
Yeah.
And they didn't seem willing to do jack shit until the rumors came out that he kind of said something.
Exactly.
And it's like, okay.
Now maybe this guy's a fucker.
Yeah. All right. Well, he did trade away our whole fucking franchise.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
There's another QB coach for you for the Bill Belichick. That's where he came from.
It's probably where he'll go.
Yeah.
That's the Belichick thing.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody leaves.
He'll have Matt Patricia
doesn't have
back.
any success. 100%. Well, I don't know. His fucking sons are kind of doing that now. But everybody leaves, has zero success, and then goes back.
Yeah.
It's like he's the Nick Saban of fucking the NFL.
Yeah, he is.
Everybody goes to reclaim that. Yeah, terrible coaching tree. But everybody has to come back to get a chance. They have to come back and be coordinator at Alabama. So
yeah. Oh man, how long was this one? It seemed like we were talking for a while.
It was an hour and a half.
Oh, not bad.
And no, it's not bad. I think it's because for fucking 20 minutes we talked in podcast form, with headphones on through microphones, and wasn't recording any of it. Now, granted, a lot of that conversation is not for public consumption that we were talking about, as I was shitting all over people that I just don't respect, which is not true. It was just actually some really weird questions that I was asking that I didn't want out in the public.
That makes it sound worse. I think you was shitting on people you didn't like.
Just a lot of embarrassing questions that I needed answered. And, you're the only one I'm talking to face to face. So
I know it.
Can't trust it. If I would have texted it to you, but somebody would have read it. And the fucking government, and they would have say, "Oh, you can't be asking these questions. You're 40? What are you asking these questions for? Fuck's wrong with you?
What's the matter with you?
Do you have the internet?" Okay. I think on that note.
All right.
Whiteside.